Good morning, beloveds. So yesterday walking outside was like walking into an oven when we went for the run. Today, a cool front came in, and it was like it's only 5 degrees, but the humidity dropped a whole lot. So it was a whole lot cooler today. And it was also cloudy, and so that was helpful. So it was really nice morning to be out. So if you live in my area, if you have anything to do outside, do it early. Otherwise, because it's going to be back in the 90s tomorrow, but this afternoon. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And so there's that. And then yesterday I shared about the memories on Facebook, how they can be a double-edged sword. Because the day before it had reminded me, hey, by the way, a year ago, this cat moved on. Well, my memories today, or yesterday and today, are reminding me that 3 years ago I graduated. So I graduated from Holmes Institute with a master's in conscious living, or living consciously. I'm not sure what they called it. But it would still be a month and a half before I got my minister's license. So it's interesting to see those pictures and flip through them. And when I posted the ones that Peg put up, I shared that memory. What I said was, it seems like only yesterday and yet forever ago. So it's kind of like I've been a minister for 3 years and it seems like no time at all. And yet it seems like I've been doing this forever. It's an interesting dichotomy about how time works, or at least how we view time. Because so much has changed, including me, but yet it seems like just yesterday that I was fresh out of school, fresh-faced with all these wonderful ideas, and to see, oh, I was going to do this, and I was going to do that, and my life took a completely different turn. When I got into ministerial school, I thought I was going to be a youth minister. I'm not. I actually work on the pastoral care team, but I also ended up in the technology, because when all of this started and we knew we weren't going to be able to do in-person services anymore, I was like, heck yeah, I will figure out how to do a live stream. So we could find ways to continue to connect. That first Wednesday that we couldn't have service in person, I said, I will do a live stream, just a short prayer, just to kind of connect with people. And then a couple of days later, I had read something in the 365 and went, wow, this is really amazing. I should share this. And so I did. And then a couple of days later, I'm like, well, okay. And so it took some time. And then David was like, hey, that's a good idea. I'll share the daily readings. And so then we had to figure out between the two of us who was doing what when. He has more given his schedule. So he does it in the evening and I do it in the morning. And now I'm actually contemplating doing setting up a YouTube channel. This Creative Life has a YouTube channel, but I'm thinking that I might set up a Running Rev YouTube channel, and save some of these videos, because I think occasionally I'm really on top of these things, and save these to a YouTube channel, and then giving myself another out so that I have more than one way to connect with people when I actually have something to say. So I'm going to get on with what I have to say. Thanks for walking memory lane with me. It is June 9th. It is Wednesday. The title today is My Being is Animated by the Divine Perfection. My being is animated by the divine perfection. Okay. Chinese sages tell us that Tao, meaning spirit, produces everything, nourishes everything, and maintains everything. It spreads itself over everything. It flows through everything and is in all things. Indeed, being all that is, there can be nothing outside of it. There is a mystical presence that pervades the universe, and this presence, welling up in our consciousness, evermore proclaims itself as the source and root of all. The enlightened of the ages have told us that it is this God within us that recognizes itself in everything we are. I know that there is one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is my mind. So also there is one body. That body is spiritual, and that body is my body. So every organ, every function, every action and reaction of my body is in harmony with the divine creative spirit. I have both the mind of Christ and the body of God. I could not ask for more and greater. Let me try this again. I could not ask for more, and greater could not be given. I now seek to realize the spiritual significance of the one mind and the one body. I live in the one mind and act through the one body, in accord with the divine harmony, perfection, and poise. Every organ of my body moves in accord with perfect harmony. The divine circulates through me automatically, spontaneously, and perfectly. Every atom of my being is animated by the divine perfection. He said a mouthful there. Okay. So we're now 10 days into June, and what I'm seeing, because the month of June is the month of creativity, what he is doing is the third step of treatment, the realization. He is making power statements. This is reality. This is the way it is. So if you are struggling with anything that you want to move forward in, I would open this book to June, read through the titles, and then read through whatever title catches your mind. You will find a mantra that you can use for whatever it is that you're working on. And he starts out talking about the Tao. And this is where we know that Ernest Holmes was widely read. He read from everybody. He doesn't always give credit. So you don't always know where he's coming from. But in this case, right here, he says, wait, I was reading Chinese. I was reading the Tao. And so that's why he talks about the golden thread. It's that thread of truth that runs through all of the religions. And why we say, while nobody has the whole picture, everybody has a piece of the truth. No one religion has all of the truth, but everybody has a piece of it. And so the strength of science of mind is that we say, okay, we're open at the top. That's why we have the V open at the top, so new ideas can filter in. So when we encounter a new idea, we go, oh, wait, that's a new piece of the truth. And we can fit it into our puzzles so that we get a bigger picture. So right there in the beginning, he's explaining to you what the Tao is. It means spirit, and it produces everything, nourishes everything, maintains everything. There is nothing that is not Tao. It spreads itself over everything. It flows through everything and is in all things. So, indeed, being all that is, there can be nothing outside of it. That's exactly what we teach about spirit. We quoted Voltaire on Sunday. God is a circle whose center is everywhere and circumference is nowhere. There is nothing outside of spirit. And that's why we teach that God cannot judge, because to judge, it has to be outside of God, and nothing is outside of God, so God can't judge. So we can let go of that great accountant in the sky. There's a mystical presence that pervades the universe, and this presence welling up in our consciousness. So it's there, and it is constantly trying to bubble to the top. We have to be willing to allow it to come all the way up. That's where Kundalini, where it starts at the base and wells up, and then the chakras, the same thing. It starts at the bottom and wells up. So that consciousness is welling up. Are you willing to let it come all the way to the top? And it ever proclaims itself as the source and root of all. The enlightened of the ages have told us that it is this God within us that recognizes itself in everything that we are. All right. So, we talk about the watcher from behind. That's God within us looking out, going, yes, you are my beloved child, in whom I am well pleased. So I know that there is one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is my mind. How many times have we heard Jesse say that? Also there is one body. That body is spiritual, and that body is my body. So that tells me two things. One, if that body is spiritual, then spirit has the power to make of it anything. But it also gives me a degree of responsibility. It means that this body that I'm walking around in is the body of God. And I like to say that. I like to say that we are the hands and feet of God. We are the listening ears of God, and we are the listening heart of God. So that body is God walking around. Not all of God, just a tiny little sliver of God. But it means we have the responsibility to take care of it. We have a responsibility to take care of the mind and body that we are using, because they are God. But the good news is, every organ, every function, every action, every reaction of my body is in harmony with the divine creative spirit. So if I am in harmony with the divine spirit, anything can be, I'm going to use the word fixed. So as I consciously align my mind and my body with the divine creative spirit, it will work better. So am I listening? Am I conscious? Am I giving my body and my mind what it needs? What am I feeding my body? What am I feeding my mind? Am I giving it what it needs? I have both the mind of Christ and the body of God. We talk about the Christ consciousness, and we have referred to it in a number of different ways, including as a robe that we can put on. Jesus absolutely was the master teacher, and he, in his own words, all of these things that I do, you will do also, and so much more. He set himself as an example, not an exception. We can absolutely do what he did if we are willing to connect that deeply. And that is terrifying and amazing. I acknowledge that it's terrifying. So, I could not ask for more, and greater could not be given. The mind of Christ, the body of God. I couldn't ask for more than that, and nothing more could be given. Spirit has already given us the highest gift that God can give us. I now seek to realize the spiritual significance of the one mind and the one body. I live in the one mind and act through the one body in accord to divine harmony, perfection, and poise. That last word trips me up. I'm not a graceful person, and when you say poise, that's what I think of. But right there, he's giving me my marching orders. Every organ of my body moves in accord with perfect harmony. The divine circulates through me automatically, spontaneously, and perfectly. I don't have to do anything for the divine to circulate through me. I don't. That is the gift. That is the grace. I don't have to do anything for that divine to circulate through me. That is the way the world works. The divine circulates through me because I am made up of that divine. You are made up of that divine. Every atom of my being is being animated by divine perfection. So on the most basic level, the tiniest sliver of you is God's stuff. So your mission, should you choose to accept it today, is to live in the one mind and act through the one body in accord with divine harmony, perfection, and poise. It's not a small mission. But the good news is you're not doing it by yourself. Because the divine circulates through you automatically, spontaneously, and perfectly. All right. Well, that is Ernest today. I am going to move on with the rest of my day. So before I go, I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, something kind for yourself, something compassionate for yourself. If you're in this area, I encourage you to open your windows right now, get a little bit of fresh air, get some movement in today. As we are working towards our new normal, because we're not going back, do something for yourself. Because the more that you do loving and kind for yourself and compassionate for yourself, the more it spreads. When you can be compassionate with yourself, then you are gentler with the world. And the world needs that right now. All right? So, I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Reverend David will be back with you sometime later on, around 5. And we have Bible Wisdom class tonight, so I will be learning something about the Bible that I didn't know before. Have a fantastic day, beloveds. Bye.